It's summertime, and I imagine you're watching this video because you've thrown away those baggy jumpers and you want to get rid of the belly fat. Well, you've come to the right video because I'm going to tell you with the help of science how to get rid of belly fat. Now, what I won't be doing in this video is telling you to do something extreme like 1,000 sit-ups a day from a pole hanging upside down because, well, it's a little difficult, and also my tips are actually better. However, if you do mix exercise with my tips, then the results will be even better. So before we begin, please remember that belly fat can also be a sign that your health is at risk of other conditions like type 2 diabetes, heart disease. So not only is getting rid of your belly fat going to make you look better, it's also going to make you healthier. So I guess it's a win-win. Now, dietitians recommend that if you eat 500 less calories than your daily requirement every day, you're going to be losing about 0.45 kilograms every 7 days, which is about 1.8 kilograms every 4 weeks, which is pretty incredible. To say you're going to be losing that much weight without doing any extra exercise just by eating less food. Eat less food, lose more weight. Which you are correct, but here's how you do it properly according to a study done from Oxford University. Which leads me on to tip number 1. So to do this, you're going to have to get rid of snacks between meals. You're going to be having 3 meals a day and no snacks between them. If you do snack, you're probably not going to hit that target of 500 calories less than your daily requirement. Tip number 2, it's all about portion size. So you don't need to change what you eat, but you are going to have to change your portion size, and I'm going to tell you all about that next. So in the study, participants were told to eat no more than a fist-sized portion at each meal. So what does this mean? This means that you can only have a daily intake of 3 fist-sized full of carbs, 2 palm-sized portions of lean protein, and 2 cupfuls of vegetable or salad. The participants could also have 2 fist sizes of fruit, and they could also have 2 servings of fat or oil covering the tip of the thumb. Now, participants could also have 200 mils of skimmed or semi-skimmed milk, or if they didn't want to have milk, they could have 2 pots, well, 225 gram pots of natural low-calorie yogurt. Now, I'll leave the full description of this diet in the description below for you as well. Tip number 3. Now, in the study, participants were told that they can eat their usual foods, which is great, you can do that too. But remember, if your usual food consists of high sugary foods or high fat foods, like fast food for example, then you're going to need to avoid it. And that was tip number 3. Now, when it comes to the results in this study, it's pretty incredible. But before we go there was also another group in this study who didn't change their diet, but instead did 10-minute abdominal workouts every day for 6 weeks. And it had a great result. There was a 2 centimeter reduction in their waistline. But a clear winner of this study was our group, the diet control group. So after 6 weeks, there was a reduction of 5 centimeters in the waistline, which is incredible. There was also improvements in the health parameters like blood pressure, like blood glucose and lipids. Now just imagine for a second, if you were to mix the abdominal workout group with the diet control group, which is our group, just imagine the results. Let's learn the 6 exercises from the study done in Oxford. You need to aim to do them 4 times a week on alternating days. They're very easy to do, they don't take too long, and anyone can do them at home. If you do them properly, you can expect to lose about 2 centimeters from your waistline in just 6 weeks. And this is without any diet change. So let's learn the exercises, and afterwards, we're going to look at the science behind them and how it all works. So let's begin with the single forearm plank. Place your forearms on the ground with the elbows aligned below the shoulders and arms parallel to the body, and hold this for 20 to 30 seconds. Now, if this is a little difficult, you can do a knee plank instead by resting the knees on the ground and placing your hands directly under your shoulder as if you're about to do a press up. Hold this for 20 to 30 seconds. First exercise is now done. Let's move on to the second one in the study, which is the basic sit-up. So sit on the floor, bend your knees, keep them together, and keep your hands on your chest or on your temples while doing the sit-ups. Please avoid putting your hands behind your head while doing the sit-up, and for all exercises in the study, the participants did 3 sets of 10. So aim to do this or build your way up to it. We're already halfway there, so next up we have the knee-high crunches. So lay on the floor, bend your knees and keep your legs raised, and aim to touch the knees with your elbows. Keep your hands by the side of your head and squeeze the stomach when your elbows touch the knees. You're doing great. I find the next exercise a little easier, so it's kind of like a rest exercise, and it's the basic crunch. So lay on the floor, bend your knees and place your hands by the side of your head. Now slowly contract your abs, bringing your shoulder blades off the floor. You need to make sure you're lifting your shoulder off the floor for this exercise to be effective. If you want to add a bit more resistance to this exercise, you can do the leg high crunches instead or alternate. However, this is optional. The only difference is that you keep your legs straight in the the air and touch the toes. Once again, you need to make sure you're lifting your shoulder off the floor for this exercise to be effective. Next up, we have the sit-up and twist. So it's the same movement as the sit-up we did earlier, but at the top, rotate the body as shown. Make sure to alternate sides each time to ensure you work out both sides. If you struggle with this or the sit-ups, anchoring the feet will help to begin with. And finally, it's time for the dorsal raises, also known as the Superman. The aim of this exercise is to work the lower back muscles after completing the abdominal exercises. So lay face down on the floor, stretch your arms and legs, and slowly raise your chest and legs off the floor while squeezing the lower back. Then slowly lower them back to the floor again. Aim to do this for 3 sets of 10. So that's the exercises done, and please remember, if you do them correctly, you can expect to lose at least 2 centimeters off your waistline in 6 weeks, which is great, but the results are definitely not as good as the diet control group, which we spoke about in episode 1, who lost 0.5 to 1 kilograms every single week, and after 6 weeks, they lost 5 centimeters in their waistline. And this is because the participants who only did the abdominal exercise, so they did no diet change, were really just improving their muscle tone. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, Abraham, what do you mean by that? By improving the muscle tone, their body is able to hold the fat in better. So what that means is you're not actually losing fat, but your body is holding the fat in better, so it's improving the appearance of the waistline, hence the 2 centimeter reduction. Which is why it's super important that you're not just fixated on doing abdominal crunches to lose weight or belly fat. Yes, we know that from the study after 6 weeks, doing those abdominal crunches did work, there was a 2 centimeter reduction, but for maximum impact, you need to be making those dietary changes that I explained in episode 1. And I will leave a link up here and in the description below for you if you haven't seen that video. And remember, if you do the diet correctly, you can expect to lose 0.5 to 1 kilograms every single week, which is amazing, right? But here's some even better news. The study also showed that after 6 weeks, the individuals reduced their visceral fat. Do you remember visceral fat? We spoke about it right at the start, the dangerous fat that increases your risk of many different health conditions. Well, the individuals had a reduction in their visceral fat of about 14%, which is amazing. They also had a reduction in their cholesterol. They also had a reduction in their blood pressure, and after 6 weeks, their waistline reduced by 5 centimeters, which again, incredible. Now, just for 1 second, imagine if you do the diet changes from episode 1 and mix them with the exercises that we've learned today, those results, they should be pretty incredible. And also, please don't forget, as adults, we need to be exercising regularly. So what does this mean? Well, we need to be doing 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week, or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week. Now, if you want more information about this, I will leave more info in the description below for you. And also, your abdominal exercises will contribute to this as well, depending on its level of intensity. And before beginning any diet, it's always a good idea to check your weight status first, because you might already be at a healthy weight, so you might not need to lose any weight. Now, the easiest way to check this is to use a BMI calculator. I'll leave a link to one in the description below for you. All you do is enter your height, your weight, and your gender, and it calculates it and tells you your weight status.